OH.Report World Headquarters here in sunny downtown Mansfield. And finally, right? I mean, it's about time that we get some of this nice sunshine coming
About time
through
you
here.
came back.
It has been a wet and wild spring, but the sun is here just in time for the start of high school tournament sports. We're going to talk today about some softball teams that we think can make it all the way, maybe even to a regional. The run-out song that we would all choose if we were a Major League Baseball closer. The current state of the NBA, is it a little bit too soft these days? And who would you rather? With two of the top stars in the association, we're going to break all that down coming up right here and now. My name is Brian Skronsky. I've been out for a couple weeks, so I kind of feel like a substitute teacher here today, here with all my rowdy students who giggle in, always passing notes. I never know what's going on. Let's go ahead and meet the squad. I'm looking at Travis Berardi right now, and I see there's a little bit of annoyance on your face. Well, what's going on? We haven't even started.
So, first of all, my Penguins' big win on Saturday, 2-1 lead over the Rangers. I ordered a jersey before the series. Jake Gensel jersey. Was expected to get it yesterday.
Yep.
2.5 days ago, it said FedEx had it, Grove City, Ohio. That is 60 miles away.
So close.
Today, still says it is in transit to Mansfield City, the city of Mansfield from Grove City,
Still so
Ohio.
close.
Are they? Is Garrett walking from Grove City with the thing right now? What are you doing, FedEx? I just want my jersey, man.
Well,
It's annoying.
He doesn't got your jersey.
Well, that's probably why. What?
They're going to lose a series before you get your jersey. Just letting you know.
Very true.
You don't even know hockey. I don't even know why you're mentioning it. This is not the
gonna
NBA.
happen. Deal with it.
I didn't even know the player whose jersey you're waiting on.
He has 4 goals already in the playoffs.
That's awesome.
Is that a lot or not?
Yeah, sounds like a lot. Hayden, what do you got going on a lot in your life? What's making you smile?
The weather. It's the
Yeah,
nicest.
baby.
It's not. It sounds like every typical person. How's the weather today? It's great.
Perfect weather to do some gardening around the new house.
Yeah, there we go. I mowed the lawn this morning.
Oh, my wife
you
too.
go.
I'm not allowed to mow the lawn at my house.
Yeah, I'm a bit picky about it, a bit OCD about it. So.
All right, so let's
Hey, G-Man,
Hayden,
shut up.
Travis, let's get it over to the giggly duo over here, G-Man and Storm.
Ooh.
What's going on, guys? What are you guys chit-chatting about over here? Can you fill us in? Any?
Hey, it was Storm's birthday. He turned 16.
Yeah. Finally.
Happy belated birthday to
Big
Storm.
1-6, I can get my driver's license finally.
That's cute.
Yeah. No, we were just laughing about Hayden.
Where's the first place that you're gonna go when you get that license?
When I get my license?
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Cane
Probably,
Cat combo, probably. Right?
probably to either Cane's or to McDonald's. Something easy. Something simple.
Happy birthday, Storm.
Thanks, T. Appreciate it.
What's up, G?
Nothing new about me. Just waiting for Vikings football to come back. A couple more months.
That's what, 3 years?
Oh, damn!
The Steelers are so good.
Hey, I know that. Well, the schedules
Haven't
are
had a
coming out
losing
here
record
soon,
in
right?
16
Thursday.
years.
Thursday they
got-
come out.
Yep.
It just got released that they play Philly week 2 Monday night.
I saw that part of a
Nice.
double header on Monday
Yeah.
night. So the Vikings, right in front of a national audience, probably going to play themselves right out of the playoff picture.
I wanted to go to that game, but Philly fans are ruthless.
They are
Yeah.
terrible.
I am
They
not.
are
Especially-
terrible.
I would
Especially the
not.
night
I would
game,
not.
I am not going.
Prime
Nope.
time, yeah.
I'm not getting beer cans thrown at
You're
me.
going to get beat up.
It's safer.
I'll skip.
It's better this way. Yeah, watch that one from the comfort of your own home. All right, guys. Well, it was Derby weekend at Churchill Downs in Kentucky, which means a lot of different things. Of course, fancy hats, mint juleps, and some horse racing as well. Travis, you were glued to your TV set or
So
your
were you.
phone on
Yeah.
Saturday. I couldn't look away. I was watching all the races at all the tracks all day. I got into the Derby spirit. So go ahead, kick off the conversation. What do you want to know from us about the Kentucky Derby?
So just watching the festivities, you and I on my laptop, we're waiting for Colonel Crawford's prom to start, but just watching everybody in their colorful, their suits and dresses and all the hats, drinking their mint juleps, smoking their cigars, having just a great time. 3/4 of those people don't even know how to bet on horse racing, but you're just there for the party. It's the biggest party in racing, and my question to everybody is, would you attend the Kentucky Derby? I know you and I had a long conversation about this. You just need to go for the atmosphere, right, Ski?
It definitely looks like an awesome party, and the outfits, like you said, that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter if you understand horse racing. You're just there for the social gathering, and then, of course, there's a lot of money being spent out there. There's a lot of crazy hats. There's going to be some pretty girls. There's going to be some good drinks. So even if you don't pay attention, if you're not even looking at the track, it's probably worth going in one of the most prestigious places in the entire country. And one thing that I really am starting to love about horse racing, because I'm low-key addicted here. I've been getting in some bets here over the last couple of weeks.
Thanks to you, I won big last night.
Yeah,
Big
Travis,
money?
few extra bills in his bill folds this morning on a big bet last night.
$480, my friends.
There's just a certain beauty, the relationship that man and horse has, like dating back as far as horses go with man. You know what I mean? It was the ultimate transportation for so long, and it's the oldest sport that we're still doing today, as far as I know, dating back to like the 1600s overseas. So I just think that there's something really neat about the longevity of the sport. And when you combine that, the thoroughbreds now, how good these horses are, how fast they are, with all the fun outfits, the drinks and everything. Yeah, sign me up. I might even try to go next year. I saw that there were some tickets going online. It's not that expensive if you don't need an actual seat, or if you're not one of the very fancy people that has their own spot, like a loge or whatever. But if you just want to be in the general admission, I saw like $125. It's worth it.
We going next year, Ski?
Yeah,
Jory
my
in the
wife wants to
background.
go, so I think we might.
You joining us, Garrett Storm? I mean, you only have to bet. Just get some suits. You guys look like, Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. Get the blue and the orange going on right there. Have some beverages over the time. Maybe put a couple bets in. I mean, you don't even have to watch the racing. Just take it in. It's a good experience.
Yeah, if there's gambling, I'm probably gonna do it. Not gonna lie, but yeah, I've actually never watched it ever. Like I've never. Like I was aware it was an event that happened, but I've never actually seen it or watched it. But it seems fun. I guess I didn't really understand the scale or the scope of how massive the event actually is. But apparently there's like a lot of buzz around it. So I don't know. I think it would be a fun thing to be part of.
Yeah, I'm in kind of the same spectrum as you, Storm. I've never watched one. Never really even cared about one, to be completely honest with you. But I seen the big comeback that the one horse had.
One of the biggest, yeah.
That was kind of crazy
80
to
to
see.
1.
But yeah, I think I would go for the atmosphere. I probably wouldn't watch, but I mean, 125 for general admission. Plus, I mean, you got to bet.
There's over 100,000 people that
So
were there.
I mean, that's
So
at least like a $500 trip. So
Yeah, I seen 68 million was wagered on just that one race.
Yeah.
Lasts about a minute.
So I mean, yeah, it's kind of a once in a lifetime event if you go to it. So why not?
Hey, you're too tall to be a jockey on this, but would you go? What would your attire be for this?
I don't know. I mean, I do like to dive into some of the stylistic realm of things. I wouldn't say that some of it is my typical vibe. It's not exactly my crowd was my answer. But I did see that Jack Harlow and Drake were there yesterday. So, I would probably go partake with the mint juleps and cigars and to see Jack Harlow. Yeah.
I'm sure you get invited into his crowd.
Yeah, it's not on my bucket list, but, go down. Sure.
I don't think there's a reason
Sure, why
to
not?
go.
Yeah, there's not really like, I wouldn't go because of that.
I mean, you go for the party. Half the people do.
Yeah,
Throw on a fedora,
for
like
a nice outfit, classy
No fedora.
shoes.
No fedora.
Definitely a hat though.
A
I
hat,
think you
something
gotta
hat,
wear a
yeah.
hat, even if it's not a fedora. I think
go
it's kind
more-
of customary.
Yeah. More like a
Really,
Kingsman hat.
There you
know?
go.
It's a little-
Okay, I got you.
whatever it's called.
Well, they've been doing it since 1875, so I'm sure they figured out the best way to really throw the soiree and make it just a big event. So it sounds like you can count us all in, maybe even for next year. Book it, baby. I think if there's one thing that the Kentucky Derby proved, though, with the guy coming from way back like he did, the longest shot in the entire field, 80-1, is that you just can never count out an underdog. So when you look at these area softball teams, guys, as we're going to turn the tide here and let's talk about some high school sports, do you see some underdogs? You see any of these like rich strikes in the field that's maybe a 4 seed, 5 seed higher that you could potentially see make it a run all the way to a regional, G-Man?
Well, I think it's going to come out of the games tomorrow. I think I'm going to pick the winner of Ashland and Mount Vernon. I don't know who's going to win that game yet, but they haven't played this season. But I think it's going to be the winner of that is going to get some momentum heading into the tournament. Personally, I think I side more with Ashland on this one just because I've seen them more this year. I like their hit. They got a lot of speed on the base pad, too, and then, of course, their pitching is dominant. That's kind of what everybody can hang their hat on there in Ashland for softball. So I think if I had to pick a side, I'd go Ashland, but I think the winner of tomorrow's game, it will really be shown who's going to be the farthest.
Wow, so there's a lot at stake tomorrow for
Yeah.
that game, and now they've been
Could
put
be
on
an
notice.
OCC champion tomorrow, right, Trav?
It's for the OCC Championship. Ashland, if they win, they clinch the OCC Championship. Mount Vernon wins. It sets up a winner-take-all at Mount Vernon later in the week because of their tournaments and everything like that. But And I believe it's going to be live and free on the OH.Report as well. Am I right, Brian?
Yeah, I want to give some love to Coach Mindy and Jason Goings and all the people over at Brookside Park. They came together with Mount Vernon, and they are going to move the game to Brookside Park 5 o'clock tomorrow, and we are going to be there live and free with the coverage. So kudos to everybody making it happen. There was a lot of hoops to jump through. I was told no a couple of times, that it wasn't going to be able to be something that we could make happen on this shorter notice, but we will be there. Maybe an OCC champion will be crowned, or maybe there'll be a deciding game in Mount Vernon here in a few days. So G-Man says the winner of that game is going to be an underdog Cinderella story, perhaps in the tournament. Storm, where do you side on this one?
Well, I agree with G-Man, but I'm more confident in Ashland. They're just such a hard team to bet against. They got a lot of speed on the base path, and of course you can't not talk about their pitching. Ashland, I feel like, has one of the best pitching programs both last year and this year when it comes to softball. So it's very hard to not want to choose them. They also have a lot of experience, a lot of juniors that were seniors this year, so a lot of experience in the tournament. I think it's just going to be there are a lot of things going in Ashland's favor, and I think that it would be it kind of surprised me, honestly, that they were seated so low with how good of a team that they have.
Well, I think probably because they're in Division I, but it feels like, man, are we all riding the Arrows bandwagon here? I'm jumping on board. I'm going to be a part of it, too. I was looking, and I think they've won like 6 in a row, like 13 to 14. Like, they're scolding hot right now. And one thing that the Wendy's Classic taught me, even though they're a D1 team and have to compete against the D1s, is that, divisions don't really matter. If you're a good softball team,
especially like Hillsdale,
you can compete.
Perennial power.
And what really matters is the pitching, like Storm said. They have not one but 2 aces that they can throw at you on any given day. And I was just breaking down the bracket, even though there's a few teams out there. Likely you're going to have to play Springfield. That's a team with 6 losses in the semifinal. The biggest threat in the district, probably Toledo-Whitmer. That wouldn't even happen until a district championship game. So Ashland, they could potentially, I think, be that team like G-Man and Storm just lined out. They could be moving on and competing for a D1 regional title by next weekend.
I agree with you, but I think
sorry.
I think both of those teams, Ashland and Mount Vernon, they're both in different districts. Ashland up in that Toledo district, Mount Vernon playing in the central district, so those games will be around their area. And then something with Mount Vernon to play for as well. If they win, their regional's at Centerburg. They take a 10-minute drive west, and they get to Centerburg to where they will play. But I think, the winner of this series, even if they split, you get some momentum going into the tournament. But Ashland first, just up and down their lineup, hitters all around. Against Madison in the win that we covered, first 8 batters reached 8 runs. Bottom of the order hit a grand slam. I mean, they have batters. They have hits up and down the lineup. They have 2, like you said, really good pitchers. Raymer, one of the best pitchers in the area. It was really tough with the car accident. Her back sometimes, doesn't allow her to get the full, throw that she has. But when she is on, she is on. And then they have a backup even if she can't finish the game. They have 2 really good pitchers. They have a great lineup. But then you go to Mount Vernon. They're a perennial power in the OCC. Yeah, they lost to Lexington. Lexington, they're a 1 seed in their district. So that's not a bad loss for them. Mount Vernon, another team that could make a run. And then, I was thinking about other teams, but they're ranked high. Lexington, 1 in their district. Madison, they're starting to get it on. They're a 4 seed in their district. Even Clear Fork, who beat Madison this week, they have a chance of doing some things. So there's some teams that are higher up that wouldn't be an underdog, but I think out of the lower ranked teams, it would be Ashland or Mount Vernon.
Well,
Hayden?
Yeah, there's a little bit more room on this bandwagon, Hayden. You want to come on board?
I'll say no, and I'm going to say no because everything's been said, and everything that's been said does not fall under the definition of underdog to me. So I know that we're just saying that based off seeding. When we've talked about seeding for other things, if you have listened to me before, you know that I don't think seeding defines anything. I don't know. It's just a number. So in my head, they're not an underdog.
What about your Lady Whippets? I mean, they're a young team. They've been getting some big wins throughout the season. They just haven't been consistent yet. You think your Lady Whippets have a chance? They're a lower seed.
Potentially. I don't feel that I can speak on that since I haven't covered them enough. I truly don't. Don't know where I could fall on that line. So yeah, I don't think they're an underdog, but from a seeding standpoint, Ashland, yes.
And then other teams, just real quick. I know you've seen Triway a few times, G. Are they good enough to make it to state?
Yeah, I think I knew that one.
You can
when we covered them.
Them and I think Hillsdale,
They're not
too.
an underdog.
Yeah,
They're the
no,
favorite
well,
to win
Triway
the
is
whole.
one of the
Travis.
favorites, too. I mean, this is we gotta get some of that
T
local
topic.
stuff.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Mansfield Tigers.
TY Tigers, hey, they're going to get that first win of the season?
Could happen.
Now that would
Don't
be an underdog.
That
story.
would be.
Book it. Now we're talking. They play Madison. Good luck.
Book it.
Okay.
Sorry, nice one.
Kind of like all things in America right now, I'd say the NBA, it's becoming a little bit more tender, kind of changing with the times, guys. So, Storm, where has this led the league, in your opinion? What is the current state of the NBA?
Yeah, I hate to sound like an old head, but I think the NBA is a little too soft right now. I really want to talk about the foul that was called on Draymond Green, where he got a flagrant 2 and was ejected from Game 1 versus the Grizzlies. I didn't see any ill intention. I didn't really see. I felt like that was just such a common foul, and it just got me to thinking about all the reviews that happen in the NBA and whatnot, and how much it really slows the game down when, after it seems like every third foul or something like that, they have to go to the booth and they have to review it, and they have to spend all this time just looking at the monitor, looking at the review to see if there's ill intent, and most of the time they just rule it a common foul. Like I just don't really understand. There's a big gray area between a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2, and I think there's a big gray area between no flagrant call, like a common foul, and a flagrant 1. And I think that we're getting closer and closer to where more common fouls are being ruled technicals or flagrant 1s, and I really don't like it. Not to say that we need to bring back like the bad boys days, as much as that would be fun for everyone, I think, but I'd like to see a little more leniency when it comes to flagrant 1 calls.
I actually disagree. I don't think it would be more fun to have the Jordan rules back. If you try to go watch some of those bad boy Pistons replays, if you watch the entire game, like that's kind of brutal, honestly. Like it was NBA basketball, but at the same time, there was a lot of MMA worked in there, and those were just all common fouls. I honestly feel like the NBA is trending in a positive direction because you know what I like on the floor are my superstars when the games matter. And I think that while it's uncommon to see what happened with the Dylan Brooks foul against Gary Payton, that's a pretty good example of when you get those flagrant 2s. Now he's gone. He can't play the entire rest of the NBA playoffs. Look at injuries like Kawhi Leonard a couple of years ago, Klay Thompson, all just because of big, hard fouls. Alex Caruso out for the playoffs this year due to tough fouls. So even though it slows the game down, I'm personally cool with the NBA taking a little bit softer approach because I like my stars on the floor a whole lot more than I like macho basketball at the end of the day. So I'll take it.
I'm kind of in the middle. I think it has gotten a little too soft. There was a technical foul called on Devin Booker. I know I sent it to you,
Yeah,
and
crazy.
it was like,
There was
what did he do? He absolutely did nothing. But there's not enough clear evidence for them to call it a flagrant 2. They kind of just, I feel like they just guess. It's just like like the Draymond one. I mean, we're in the playoffs now. I feel like they upped the standard a little bit more. I mean, this is tough physical basketball. Nobody wants to go home. The standards are higher. I think you got to be a little bit more lenient, especially in the playoff time. Now, I do agree that I don't think everybody wants to be throwing punches and elbows down in the post because everybody's going to be getting hurt and stuff. But they got to find some kind of middle ground there because right now it's just like you see when James Harden doesn't get those foul calls in the free throw line, he's kind of a different player. He hasn't been scoring as much. But when he gets those calls, he's like top 10. He's scoring 30 points a game. So I think they got to lay off some of the free throw attempts that some of these superstars get. And even like LeBron, I mean, he gets calls that probably shouldn't be called, but he gets them because of his name and because of who he is. But they got to find some kind of middle ground. And I agree with you, Storm. I don't think Draymond's was enough to get kicked out. You can't kick out Draymond Green in that kind of game. Give me game 1 like that.
Well,
not after that foul.
Well, yeah, and you think about the Dylan Brooks thing just a few games later. I mean, like he got suspended for 2 or 3 games, but Gary Payton's done for the rest of postseason.
Right.
Like he'll be gone for the rest of postseason. I want to see those fouls kind of eliminated, but Giannis had a chase down on Jason Tatum that got called that was under review, like a clean chase down that I was like, why are we reviewing this? So I don't know. Maybe
I feel like they review too much.
Maybe it's more so the reviews. Like
there's too many challenges.
Yeah, the game is there's too many breaks in the action. It just can get frustrating to try to watch a game and get into the flow when there's so many breaks for reviews.
Would you guys like to see the NBA kind of be a little bit more lenient on some of the flagrant 2 calls and the reviews, or are you guys happy with the trend?
I think I'm with G and Storm here. I mean, I don't want it going back to that bad boy 80s and 90s basketball, but I think they've overcompensated. I think they're going too far with ruling these fouls. I mean, didn't Chris Paul get fouled out last night or the night before on a really ticky-tack?
He just stopped and
Yeah.
Brunson ran into him.
A 50-50 call.
It's like kind of the NBA's going to the NFL to where any little even touch is too much and it's a foul. So, I think they're overcompensating for, like, back in the day. If they just tone it down a little bit, not go back to this clothesline that Larry Bird's getting right here on screen or things like that. But, incidental contact even is getting called for stuff. I mean, it's a little too much.
It's actually kind of crazy if you think about these guys and how much tougher they were in the NBA in the 80s and 90s. They were playing 82 games a year. There was no sitting out for rest. Hey, DNP today. That way, my back can feel a little bit better when I go on the road for this 3-game spurt that we're going to have. So I just think that it was a little bit rougher and guys were a little bit tougher. And athletes are maybe more coddled these days. But I'm okay with it because when the games matter the most, I just want them on the floor. That's what's important. So
superstars play longer now too, which is better.
LeBron
LeBron
agreed.
kind of lasted.
Agreed.
Years LeBron's been in the league. Then you know what I mean.
There's going to be a big change to that resting players thing this season. They're going to have there's going to be a big change, I think. But another thing that I want to touch on before you get to go, Hayden. Sorry. If we're going to have so many reviews, what's the point of having officials at the game? Why not just make everything officials like not in the arena, like how it should be robotic umps in baseball? Like, if we're gonna have to review so much and we can't trust these guys to get the calls right on the floor, then why even have them there? Why not just have a review center that can get the calls right so much faster?
Or have the refs there, but they have a buzzer, so at least they're
something.
Just something that's a foul buzz, down there. I don't know. That might be a little too much, because then they'd have to stop and review some things. I think reviews would be even more if they did that.
Yeah. Well, Hayden.
Well, again, basically everything's been said. I just said that I feel like it's too soft in terms of slowing the pace of the game, and G-Man kind of touched on it. I don't like seeing – because, I saw, more offense is fun, like you were saying, G-Man, but I don't really find offense fun when it's Joel Embiid taking 30 to 40 free throw attempts. Like, if he's dropping 42 points and 30 of those are from the line, not exciting to me. I know we've all talked about how the NBA is a little bit more entertaining in terms of pace of play, and like what we like to watch. It's more action-packed, and I think that we slow it down when we call some of these and when there's all the free throws. That's not what we want to see.
Maybe let's just eliminate the free throw altogether. Maybe there's a better way to just keep the action going.
Just check it up.
Just check up.
Yeah,
put
check
2 points on the board. Something.
Oh, they're going to get rid of the take foul, too, after this offseason, which I'm happy about.
So we'll put together maybe our own laundry list of needs and rule changes for the NBA. We'll get them to the commish during the summer when the league is done. And who knows, maybe it could be a brighter future for the league that everybody can get behind. But in a league of superstars, guys, some of the brightest in the NBA right now, leading their franchises in the playoffs, age 22 and 23. These guys, Ja Morant, Luka Doncic, two of the very best in the league, but they're so different. So my question that G-Man and I have already debated a couple of weeks ago, and I'm glad that we can bring it here to center stage, Hayden. Who you got? You want Ja Morant, or do you want Luka Doncic if you're starting an organization from scratch right now so you get them at their current age for the rest of their careers? Lock them in. Who you taking?
Well, I'll kick it off with something that I normally wouldn't do, but I'm just going to say I'm going to toss numbers out the window, and I'm going to preface this by saying as well that I love Luka. I think that he's a phenomenal player, and either of these guys would be phenomenal to start a franchise and to have and to be your centerpiece. So I'm going to go with Ja Morant, and like I said, I'm going to throw numbers out the window, not because I don't think they're relevant, but the way I went about this debate and who I would really pick, because I wrestled with it for a while, I went with Ja because I'm thinking in terms of I want to start my franchise around them. I want to win games, but I also want to ignite a fan base. I want to fill my arena. Not that Luka doesn't do that, but everything I've heard is just about the Grizzlies could not be winning that many games, and people would still pay to come see Ja Morant. He fills an arena. And G-Man laughs because he's Mr. I don't even know. He's
Right.
Mr. Luka fan club. That's his
Luka
real
Magic.
Twitter page or something here. But, no, I think Ja Morant is a more Showtime player. I think that he attracts more players that would want to play with him, and I think he's more entertaining.
Well, I like that you said that you were not going to reference numbers for your argument, because if you reference any numbers, they all point to Luka Doncic being the player that you would want. You said more wins, right? How about the Mavericks the last 3 years? 43, 42, and 52 wins, Hayden. So I'll just start there. If you look at any statistical number, I think Luka's got the edge. Am I right, G?
Here's my biggest one. The Grizzlies are better without Ja Morant, statistically this season.
Well, they're going to have to show it now.
Well,
with
but
him
we're
out
not
for
talking about the
game
numbers.
4.
Listen, we won't talk about the numbers. I'll talk about this. My favorite player growing up was Derrick Rose. He played just like Ja Morant. Ja Morant won't be healthy enough to have an NBA career.
He's just
'Cause
like
he plays
Russell
just
Westbrook.
like Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook. Too much athleticism. He's not gonna have a knee in 3 years.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why we brought this up then.
No,
We're
I
all
mean,
just
that's
going
I
to
mean-
ride each other's coattails and say Luka. Great debate.
I mean, I just think Luka's a better player.
Luka's going to be a top 3 player when he retires. That's my take. He could be that good. I mean,
And we all just talked about how Ja Morant shouldn't have been in the most improved player conversation because he's already that good.
yeah, he's
He's
good.
And then
Luka.
He's
we're
an
just
all-star.
trying to take a dump on him here.
He's an all-star player, but he's not anywhere near Luka Doncic. It's not even close. They're not like Luka Doncic's like mini LeBron.
Yeah, if I may, there's only 3 players in the history of the league that have these kind of numbers at Luka's age. He's averaging 26.4, 8.5 rebounds, and 8 assists. Only the big O and LeBron can say that. Ja's pretty average in terms of his numbers, even though I know you don't want to talk about him.
I will
At this point in his career, all-star, for sure. Superstar that I'm going to pick out of these two, I don't think it's really close, actually. I think that Luka, the more that I thought about it, he's the guy that makes his teammates better. He can be a defensive liability, as Phoenix has kind of been putting out there, though. So Ja, I would give an upgrade on that end of the floor. He's a better steal guy, probably a better on-ball defender. But every other aspect of the game, and it just looks like Luka, he plays with so much joy that he brings a certain mentality to the team around him where everybody just looks like they're having a good time, man.
Ja doesn't have fun. The Grizzlies aren't one of the most fun, entertaining, close teams to watch. Like
They
we
both
said.
are, but I also think that as Ja Morant will get older, he will not get that much better. I think Ja is a really good player right now, but I don't think with the way he plays and how he plays, he can get that much better. I think, like I said, Luka has the ceiling to be a top 3 player of all time in this league, and I think he will be once it's all said and done.
Well, I am going to go to the numbers, and actually, Ja has been.
Of course.
I'm going to go with Luka because of consistency, but for you, Ja has been getting better in his first 3 years. 17.8 to 19.1 to 27.4. Every statistical category, he's been getting better. I think he can get a little bit better before he evens off.
Well,
I
yeah,
think-
the plateau will be sooner,
Oh, okay.
is I guess what I was trying to say.
But just looking at Luka's first 4 years, 21, 28, 27, 28 consistency. Rebounds, 7, 9, 8, 9. Assists, 6, 8, 8, 8. So going with consistency and what Luka's been able to do, I would go with him. Now with Ja, 17, 19, 27. If he can keep playing like he is with this year and not go back to the first 2 years, I would definitely go for him. But right now, I think I'd go more Luka.
One number I will bring up. It's a bit of a cop-out, so I don't like using these. But one thing that we can say about both, neither of them have a ring. So this is purely opinion-based, and that's what it's meant for.
Sure.
But neither of them have a ring, so that's the ultimate separating factor. So in my opinion, you can't separate them.
Both fan favorites, though. They rank 8th and 9th, respectively, in the league in jersey sales. So people like these two guys. Two of the most fascinating, creative players on offense, I think, in the entire league. The last point that I would bring up about Luka, though, I'm a white dude, and it's just kind of cool to see a white guy out there dominating. There's just not that many in the history of the league that have been at his level. 75% of the league is black. So for me, as a white guy, seeing another fellow white guy guard out there doing something, I think it adds to the equation just a little bit for me. So let me spin it a little bit more then, since given that point, the MVP in the league right now is a white dude, Jokic, 27 years old, I think, so a few years beyond what you would be able to get with the value of a Luka Doncic. Would you rather have him?
Luka.
Luka.
I think I'd still go
Not
Luka.
close.
Still
Yep,
Luka?
Not close.
Not close?
Not close.
Not in, no.
But
not
Jokic is
even
the
close.
MVP just because he needs to be on his team?
Well, if I'm starting a franchise
Take
right
Luka.
now, I'm not building around Jokic. I'm building around Luka. Just because he's younger. He's a younger. Like I said, Jokic is playing his best
Jokic
right
is
now.
a big Luka.
Yeah.
They play like the same kind of style.
And Jokic is
Kinda
the best. Jokic is playing his best basketball right now. Luka's ceiling is still so much higher.
What if you're playing for win now? You want to bring on one player. You bring Jokic or Luka?
Luka.
Well, look who's still playing and look who's at home. That's how I'll answer my question.
I think Jokic is awesome, and I think
Both don't have anybody to play with.
That's
Yeah,
what I
so
mean.
that's
they
the
would be
thing.
great
I'm
to
just
team up.
saying
Could you imagine if Jokic went to Dallas? That'd be awesome. Could you imagine if
That'd be
Luka
fun.
went to
Luka and
Denver?
Jokic?
I think I'd
Now we're
rather have
talking.
that. That'd be awesome. Because they're both foreign players. I love overseas players, man.
All right. Speaking of a sport that has lots of overseas players, or, well, at least from the Dominican, is that really overseas?
Across the Gulf. I mean,
Something like that.
across
Um,
an ocean.
Let's talk about baseball now. A few positions in all of sports come with job duties. Like a closer, though, in baseball, it's a unique gig. It requires a certain amount of some talent, some energy, and you get a pretty awesome entrance into the game. Maybe better than any position or player or anything in any sport when you get to run out. So I think this is Hayden's category, yeah? Where you listening to some sick tunes at home and thinking to yourself, what would I want to run out to if I were a closer, or how'd this come about?
No, I gotta give credit. I forget exactly who it was, but I saw a clip from another podcast on TikTok, and this was a question on it, and I thought it was a darn good question for us. So
We'll have
I
better
figured
answers
I'd
than
bring
them,
it
though.
up. I don't know. Their answer was hard to top, but I'll keep that to their own podcast. I went with "Walkthrough" by Rich Homie Quan.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the tune.
I'm
but,
familiar.
Some people use that as their walk-up song. I've heard a lot of batters use that in previous times, but I feel like that's a pretty smooth one. Travis? That's all I got to say about
all right.
that.
Country Roads?
It's a good one.
No, I got to go with Hell's Bells. Heath Bell of the Padres, back when they made their playoff runs. They have the lead going in the ninth year. You just hear the bong, bong, and then the guitar riff go in there, and the place goes nuts. It's just one of those pump-up songs. He sprints out of the bullpen to get down there, and it just puts fear in the eyes of batters. That, and I think I'd do Enter Sandman, too, from when Mariano Rivera would come out to that.
That was pretty good.
That pumps up a crowd.
Well, that
So
one's
songs
already
like
taken.
that.
I don't think
Yeah,
you're
I know.
allowed to steal that.
No,
at
you
this
can't.
point.
So that's why I went with Hell's Bells. That'd be a good one.
Well, I think a good run-out song needs to be something that really just strikes fear into your opponents. And so, for me, of the voices that you hear in music, maybe the most terrifying out there is the late, great DMX. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's just got that gravelly, mean kind of voice. You got to like a quality anthem, too, so that's why I would run out to the Rough Riders anthem. Stop, drop, shut 'em down, open up shop. Oh, yeah, that's how Rough Riders roll. So I'd probably run out to that one. I think I'd get the crowd going. Everybody seems to know it, and then the opponents too. Just might be a little bit intimidated.
I think me and Garrett took this question a little less serious than everyone else.
I just picked the song that I thought was cool.
Yeah, I picked The Gambler
Oh, good
just
grief.
because I thought that song would be really awesome. You know,
Yeah, you
got
ran out the you
no
gotta know
when
when
to
to-
hold 'em. I think that would
That's
be
gonna
awesome.
put fans to sleep, man.
No, I
Come
think
on.
everyone would be singing it and rallying behind me. So mine wasn't exactly to strike
What did Kenny
fear,
Powers
so-
run out to?
You're the baseball guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's a TV show. I don't have HBO, so
Oh,
I
I don't.
watch Eastbound and Down.
But mine's a gambler.
I only knew this song a couple years ago, actually. We learned it from 2K. I Want to Be a Baller by Lil Troy. I don't know if you guys want to be a
I
baller.
love that song.
Yeah,
Shot
sing it
caller,
for us.
yeah.
I actually, now that you guys kind of bring up the
Twenty
opponent, I didn't
Impala.
really think of it that way, but maybe the opponent is like, listen to that, I want to be a baller, like the pitcher coming in, because he's playing that song, so he's got to be a savage. And
Yeah.
me
Okay.
being the savage I am, I mean, he definitely would be like, I'm scared of that guy. So, I mean, I guess you can take it either way, but I think that was just a kind of a cool song. I didn't really,
I just picked the song I like.
something that was going to like strike
Yeah,
fear
no, it
into
wasn't supposed to be
somebody.
that serious. It's all about the swag, whatever you want.
Brian, what do you remember?
The vibe
What
you're
was
trying
it
to set.
that Miller and Allen ran out to during that World Series run? I forget what it was,
I don't
but I got the
remember,
crowd pretty much
Gummy Bear
going
song?
nuts.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
have
it
to
was
the
look
Duck
that one
song.
up. Well, speaking of savages and beasts at their craft, we've got a guest with us here today. Photo taker, a soon-to-be graduate, I believe, of Western Kentucky University. Shelby grad, is that correct? Crestview. And the owner of Wyatt Richardson Photography here in the building. What's up, Wyatt?
Not much.
Well, thanks for joining us. Since I sort of butchered your background information. You give us some info. Tell us about yourself, where you come from, and what it is that you're doing now with your photography.
Yeah, I'm from Crestview High School in Convoy, Ohio. I graduated in 2020. Now I'm at Western Kentucky in the photojournalism department.
And we've got some of your photos that are up here. So as they're cycling through, tell us about some of your favorite events that you've got to cover so far during your young career, and just what it is like when you capture a really awesome photo that you know you're going to be proud of.
Yeah, so I'm a sophomore right now at WKU, and this is my first year on staff with them. So I got to go to the Boca Raton Bowl for the football bowl game, and to capture Bailey Zappi's most yards in a season, and also his most touchdowns in a season, passing Joe Burrow's 60. He got 62. He threw for 6 touchdowns in the game with 422 yards. So it was fun. It was a fun game to go to. We won 59-38 versus Appalachian State.
Yeah, sounds like a great time, man. And we've seen you at quite a few sporting events here in and around our area. I think most notably with the Shelby girls basketball, this team. So tell me about that relationship and how you kind of have broken onto the scene here in North Central Ohio, taking photos for some of our area high school teams.
Yeah, so back in 2020, a good friend of mine, she played AAU for Team Huddle, and that's what Haley Baker, Olivia Baker, and Sophie Neese, that's what they played for the last couple of years. So I got to meet them last summer, and then into the last fall and into winter, we kind of connected, and the rest is history.
All right, speaking of your history, G-Man, it's got a question for you about kind of how you got started, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of a unique story how they got into this field. Just kind of want to know how'd you get into doing this?
Yeah, so the summer going into my freshman year of high school, I took a class, and I loved it. Freshman year, growing up, I played baseball and basketball and every sport.
Right.
Every sport, pretty much. And with my vision, it was every year it got more difficult to play a sport. With the speed of the game and stuff. So I grew up around sports, and when I got into photography, I wanted to do sports photography, and so I combined the both my freshman year of high school, and it went off, and I loved it ever since.
Yeah, man. So talking about your love for sports photography, what is your favorite sport personally to photograph?
Volleyball is pretty fun with the action, but probably my favorite is softball with the small field, tons of action. You get to see top name players. I think WKU, they're like 35-11 this year. We just beat number 5 Alabama. That was a fun game to just go to and watch after class. And then the weekend before, I saw a walk-off home run.
Those are the best.
So that was a fun game. Last softball game of the year for me to shoot. So that was the best ending for sure.
Nice.
Speaking of fun events, what either sport or what event are you most wanting to cover? Something you haven't covered yet, but you really want to get there and get to that point.
I'm a huge Yankees fan, so if I got to go shoot a Yankees game, that would be fun. I went to Boston and New York last May, and I might be going in July again. But seeing Aaron Judge, all those big name at Yankee Stadium,
that's pretty cool.
Fun.
Would be sweet, actually.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be pretty awesome. I guess at first I had a different question, but it kind of leads into it. If there was a professional team that you could choose, like if you had any choice, what professional team do you think you'd want to be a photographer for?
Yeah, I think I've been thinking about this last couple of weeks. If I had the chance to become the Yankees photographer, I think I would take it. But truthfully, if I had the opportunity, any team pretty much, it it would be a dream for at least a couple of years, just to feel it out and make memories and travel with the team.
That'd be the coolest thing, is traveling, especially a Major League Baseball schedule. 3 or 4 days you're in one city, and then you're flying across the country to L.A. You're going to Seattle, Denver, Chicago a couple times. I think that'd be the coolest thing to do about that. That's a cool dream.
So for any young aspiring photographers out there, because you're still such a young guy, you got a lot of ways still to go, what advice would you give to someone that's trying to break into the field of photography and would ultimately like to have a dream as big as yours, being the photo guy for the Yankees one day?
Yeah, so I started at the bottom, and the first person I followed on Instagram that I remembered was Billy Weiss from the Boston Red Sox. His photos, and also Matt Desmond. He was the Oakland A's photographer. Now he's a freelancer in Pittsburgh. Both of those guys, amazing photos. Billy has a YouTube channel, but if you go on YouTube and just search sports photography, you'll get great results. And also, if you have a camera, just every day, just keep on shooting, and you'll get it one day.
You truly do just have to get the practice in there, and then you get a good eye for the depth, the perception, all of that. Just got to get out there and do it.
Yeah, just get out there and do it. And most of these big time photographers, a lot of it's of the action, but the photos that they make, it's not of the action. It's little photos behind the scenes that get all the attention. That's what everyone loves to see.
And how much does maybe luck play into this? Being at the right place at the right time to get maybe that fingertip catch in the end zone, or like we just saw, getting right in front of the coach as he's getting the Gatorade bath. How much does luck play into that?
Yeah, so it goes between luck and preparation. Going into college, I never thought of, writing out a scouting report on a game of where I'm going to be at. But with my this year being my first year with WKU athletics, learning from our team photographer Vale, he always has a scouting report, and with that photo in front of the coach, I was there probably 5 minutes to go in the game because I knew it was going to happen, and I was 5 feet away from the coach, followed him around. And I knew that's the shot I wanted to get going into the game, and I got it. But also luck. If you photograph a Super Bowl, there's hundreds of photographers there, and can barely move. You never, especially with football too. You never know what side of the field they're going to be to throw it to. So that's a lot of it too with luck.
Well, Wyatt Richardson, up-and-coming photographer. Let the people know, how can they find you on social media? Where can they take in all your awesome photos?
Yeah, I have an Instagram, Richardson Photography _RP, and then Twitter, _photography 1. My website's Wyatt Richardson Photography. That's about it.
Keep on shooting for the stars, man. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yep, Wyatt Richardson, everybody. Make sure that you check him out, give him a follow, and just take in all of his awesome photos. Well, that's going to do it for our show today. The sun is shining out there, so I know that I've got some soccer games to get to. I'm going to go check out my kids, hopefully get some tournament goals, and move on. What about the rest of y'all? How are you going to spend your afternoon?
Well, I'm going to get ready for Game 4, even though my jersey's still in Grove City, Ohio.
that
Come
look
on, FedEx, do something.
Be
My
nice
goodness.
To these companies, Travis.
Good
Right.
grief.
Nice
Just
to
deliver
these
my
companies.
jersey
I
already.
love how
You're
he has
3
to
days
get
over.
ready to sit on his couch. Like, what's that preparation
come
entail?
on.
Come on.
Maybe I'll get 9 holes in it. It's a good day to golf.
Great day to golf.
Might do that as well. That's a good
Hayden,
idea.
you got some projects over in Belleville at the new residence?
Yeah, there's plenty of things. There's lots of things that need some attention, but
Glories of being a homeowner, my friend.
yeah. I think not to be weird, but pretty sure I saw Scott Sellers riding his bike on a bike trail behind my house the other day. So Scott Sellers, if you're watching, stop in.
Yeah, say what's up. What about our 2-round members? What's up? What are you doing?
What's the
What are you
dinner? What's the
doing?
dinner choice tonight?
Just basketball for me. Gonna eat a whole basketball.
Yum.
That is
You eat that with a fork and a knife, or how? Condiments?
You have to deflate it first, but after that you can smoke it, grill it, put it in the oven, bake it, however you want to eat it. I prefer mine grilled, but
Got it.
Probably nothing. I'll probably just work out, watch games.
Probably gonna bully me some more, huh, Jimmy?
Sounds exciting.
be big Luca fan.
All right, last word, Wyatt. Tell them how a rock star spends their Monday night. What you gonna be up to?
Yeah, I'm actually going to a JV softball game, and then tomorrow I'll be at some varsity softball and baseball, so that'll be a little more interesting.
Agreed. All right, yeah, tomorrow. Make sure you tune in live and free, 5 p.m. We're gonna be the only gig in town, Mount Vernon at Ashland. We'll see if the Lady Arrows can wrap up the OCC. But for now, I think we are out of here.
And hopefully we'll have you dancing like Brian and Jory were on Saturday night. Hit it, Adam.